Did you know that an entire branch of extraordinary humans is missing from our family tree? Let's revisit the version of human evolution we were taught. A neat progression from Australopithecus all the way to Homo sapiens. But in 2008, something surfaced that shattered that clean storyline. A strange fragment of a finger bone discovered in Denisova Cave. This tiny bone refused to match any known evolutionary category. Instead, it pointed toward evidence of a mysterious civilization that history simply left out. Who were they? What proof do we have? And what ultimately happened to them? In this new episode of Origin's Secret, we dive deep. Welcome. It all began with something so small you could have brushed it off as nothing. Deep in Siberia's Denisova Cave in 2008, archaeologists uncovered a tiny piece of bone from the earth. At first, they expected it to belong to a Neanderthal or perhaps a modern human. They couldn't have been more wrong. When geneticists sequenced its DNA, they froze. It matched neither Neanderthals nor Homo sapiens. It belonged to an entirely different type of human, one the world didn't even know existed. This bone came from a young girl who lived roughly 50,000 years ago, found in the now famous Denisova Cave. Because of its bizarre genetic signature, scientists realized there must be more of her kind, and named them the Denisovans. Overnight, our simple family tree of us and Neanderthals exploded into complexity. Suddenly, there was undeniable proof that yet another human species walked the earth alongside us, one potentially as advanced and powerful as either known lineage. But despite overwhelming evidence, our history books say nothing about them. If Denisovans are new to you, you're not alone. The shocking part, their DNA still circulates widely today. Modern people in Tibet, Mongolia, Papua New Guinea, and Australia carry up to 5% Denisovan DNA. That's not a footnote, that's a lineage, a whole species surviving only through fragments inside us. Yet while Neanderthals left dozens of skeletons, Denisovans left almost nothing, just a pinky bone, a few molars, a jawbone found on the Tibetan plateau, and possibly a skull in China. That's it. And still, their genetic contribution to modern humans is enormous. How can a species influential enough to shape our DNA leave almost no trace behind? Did we erase them, or did they erase themselves? When the Denisovan discovery hit the world in 2010, it shook anthropology to its foundation. For decades, the accepted story was simple. Humans evolved in Africa, Neanderthals spread into Europe, and our two lineages occasionally overlapped. Clean, organized, predictable. Then the Denisovan genome surfaced, introducing a second, previously unknown human cousin. And this hidden branch seemed to have been just as impactful as any of the others. Even more surprising, Denisovans weren't a minor group. They appear to have been global players. Their DNA is spread across distant regions, suggesting they shaped the bodies, immune systems, and perhaps even the cognition of entire human populations. Yet their fossils remain extremely rare, as if they were wiped from the record. That's the mystery we're about to unravel. As scientists pieced together their story, more clues emerged across Asia, suggesting the Denisovans occupied a huge territory, and that many of their remains remain undiscovered. The few fossils we have, like the Zaihe mandible from Tibet or the massive Harbin skull from northeastern China, are incredibly robust. The Harbin skull, nicknamed Dragon Man, is enormous, with heavy brow ridges and a powerful jaw. The Zaihe jawbone is twice as thick as a modern human's, with oversized molars that seem almost inhuman. Denisovans weren't frail cave dwellers. They were built like fortresses. Even more intriguing, the Denisovan brain case appears to have been nearly 20% larger than ours. Not just bigger, but potentially wired differently. Their DNA contains unique neural development, markers suggesting enhanced memory, pattern recognition, and mental efficiency. Imagine a mind storing details like a hard drive, recalling them instantly. Across Asia, legends tell of giants, with exceptional wisdom and memory, beings who taught humans and possessed unusual abilities. Coincidence or faint cultural echoes of Denisovans remembered as more than human? Mainstream science resists these ideas, but the fossils, the brain volume, and the DNA combine to raise an uncomfortable question: were Denisovans not just another branch of humanity, but a superior one? And if so, where did they go? Across Asia, oral traditions tell of towering beings who lived among smaller humans. Tibetan shamans speak of sky-born ancestors. Mongolian legends mention mountain-dwelling giants, and even the Bible references Nephilim wiped out by catastrophe. Add this to the physical evidence: oversized skulls, jawbones, and teeth, and the stories begin to sound less mythical. Consider altitude. At high elevations, oxygen levels become dangerously low for most humans, but Tibetans navigate 14,000-foot altitudes with ease thanks to a unique gene variant, EPAES1. In 2010, researchers discovered that this adaptation didn't come from Homo sapiens. It came directly from Denisovans. This means Denisovans mastered life in extreme mountains tens of thousands of years before us. They also passed down disease-resistant genes that still protect some populations today. Denisovans had an elite immune system that enabled them to survive plagues that devastated early humans. Some of these genes boost modern immune responses, though they may also increase susceptibility to autoimmune disorders. It's almost as if we inherited too much firepower. Was this random evolution or the result of deliberate genetic refinement? There's also the possibility of extended lifespan. Denisovan genetic markers suggest slower cell degradation and stronger neural resilience. In simple terms, they may have aged more slowly and stayed mentally sharp longer than modern humans. Combined with robust bodies, disease resistance, and altitude mastery, Denisovans resemble not just another human species, but a superhuman one. In 2008, archaeologists made another shocking find in Denisova Cave: a polished chlorophyllite bracelet, beautifully crafted, with a perfectly drilled hole requiring high-speed rotary drilling, a technology supposedly invented tens of thousands of years later. This wasn't primitive jewelry, it was precision engineering. Then came a 7-centimeter bone needle with a carved eye, dating back over 50,000 years, the oldest sewing needle ever found, and it wasn't made by Homo sapiens. This suggests Denisovans created tailored clothing and possessed an organized society with division of labor. They also produced beads, pendants, and carved stones, clear signs of symbolic art, language, and spirituality. Even more intriguing is the presence of massive engineered stone blocks across Siberia, Mongolia, and Central Asia, regions associated with Denisovan activity. At Mount Shoria, some granite blocks weigh over 3,000 tons and feature flat, angled surfaces. Historians dismiss them as natural formations, but their precision suggests intentional construction. Some of these structures align with astronomical events, solstices, cardinal directions, indicating advanced mathematical and observational knowledge. This mirrors patterns seen in Stonehenge, the pyramids, and Mayan temples. Did later civilizations inherit ancient knowledge from Denisovans? Imagine Denisovans constructing megaliths with coordinated precision, perhaps using advanced cognitive abilities. Some researchers speculate about telepathic communication, not in a science fiction sense, but as a higher form of intuitive coordination, made possible by their enhanced neural wiring. If fragments of their extraordinary DNA still exist in us, why don't we exhibit their abilities today? Did we lose them, or were they overwritten through time? The mystery deepens. Denisovans thrived for hundreds of thousands of years, then vanished around 40,000 years ago, right when Homo sapiens expanded into Asia. Whenever two human species collided, only one survived. Did we outcompete them? Did conflict occur? Some suggest it was prehistoric genocide. Others believe Denisovans chose to retreat into mountains, caves, or hidden realms, echoed in Tibetan tales of Shambhala and Mongolian legends of underground kingdoms. Then came the Younger Dryas event, an abrupt climate catastrophe around 12,800 years ago. Ice sheets collapsed, temperatures plummeted, and floods swept across continents. Could this disaster have destroyed Denisovan cities and knowledge? Flood myths worldwide, from Sumer to Native America, describe a world reset. If Denisovans had advanced societies, this event may explain why so little remains. So the question becomes, if an entire super-civilization could vanish from history, what else have we lost? And what still lies hidden beneath our feet, waiting to be discovered? What do you think? Share your theories in the comments. Stay curious, and until next time, keep your minds open.